Hi, I'm Saren.
And I'm Ray.
We're your Spider Baby hosts from To Know Her Is to Fear Her, a Spider-Woman podcast, as well as proud members of the collective.
You're listening to Capes and Lunatics. Gimme, gimme.
This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
This is Jam DeMatteis, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the world's greatest comic book podcast, the Capes and Lunatics. That's right, it's episode 211. Told you we were coming back with it. Our 60th anniversary Fantastic Four special. I am Phil. Joining me as always, the expert in all things Fantastic Four. It is him from New Jersey.
Charlie, the Professor Esser, it's clobbering time!
And down in Florida, it's the expert in, you don't want to know, it is...
Hey y'all, it's Lil Hellfire. Because somebody's got to keep it from being a sausage fest. Much like Sue Storm.
Oh, yeah. What do they call a nihilist? The living death that walks or something? There you go, Lil.
And like Sue Storm, she is our most powerful member.
Now that she's popped that can, she is.
It's Red Bull! It gives you wings!
There you go, power.
I'll take your word
like
for
the
it.
Penis Mobile, Fantastic Four Mobile.
Oh! Yeah, she said it's very, the Fantastic Car is very phallic shaped, Charlie.
Well, you know, I like the original bathtub model. I really feel that's Kirby at his finest. Just a bathtub. Just put him in the bathtub. That's fine.
Stan was like, I don't care, Jack. Just get him there. Just get him there.
Only one of these guys can fly.
Oh, my. So why did you write it differently?
Excelsior!
All right, so should we jump in? We actually came up with a plan here. We have categories.
Yay!
A plan on Capes and Lunatics?
I know.
The hell is this?
There's always a plan, Lilith.
So funny. The plan throws us for a loop. It throws us for a loop when we have a plan. Oh, and like I told Lilith at the end of the episode, we have feedback from Ray. He sent us his Fantastic Four picks for our category, so...
Yay!
See what the other side of the world has.
Russell!
I know, Russell, you're dropping the ball all of a sudden. Alright, so... Came up with what? Six categories. So I figure we'll start with Charlie. Well, everyone will give, we'll do a round of each category. But we'll start with Charlie Esser, because especially this first one, I kind of knew what he was going to send us. So, favorite Fantastic Four member. Go ahead, Charlie.
Benjamin Jacob Grimm, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing.
And why is that?
Because he's a big guy. And I was a big kid. And I like big people. And it's like... And because he had a heart of gold. And just... he was just this... He was gruff, he was grumpy, just like me sometimes, but he really cared about the people in his life. And what I will always say about Ben Grimm is, the Hulk may be the strongest one there is, but the Thing, he's the most inexhaustible one there is. And he will just keep on fighting, and you'll never stop him. You'll never stop him until the fight's done. And that's what I like about Ben Grimm, man. He's a fighter, and he just, it doesn't matter how afraid he is, how outmatched he is, if he can still stand, and he will find a way to stand, he will keep on standing. And that is his power. That is his, and they've done it in the book sometimes where they've actually said, how is he getting back up? That was the whole thing when he fights this champion. He's the only one. Like, no one could defeat the champion, but the champion knew, man, I could fight this guy all day. I could easily beat him.
He was the original.
I'll never break his spirit.
He was the original. I could do this all day, huh?
He was, man. He was, and that was, of course, later. It wasn't even. I won't even say it was parodied. It was just done a loving tribute with Monkey, which was like one of the Powerpuff Girls spinoffs, where they actually had Randy Macho Man Savage being the championess character, fighting all of the various superhumans and Avengers like Major Glory and Valhalla, and defeats them all. But Monkey just keeps on coming back. And when you hear Randy Macho Man Savage say, "I could fight him all day, but I could never break his spirit. That is a true champion." And that is why it is my sorrow that Randy Macho Man Savage will not be able to be the champion, because I do believe he has passed away. And that is the one thing missing from the universe is that if we ever do get the champion in Thor Ragnarok, which we will, mark my words, or not Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder, we will, because we're going back to the whole Grandmasters world. So I think we're going to get the champion, and I think whoever they get to do it, it's going to be glorious, and I hope they give him that Randy Macho Man Savage vibe.
Oh, The Rock's going to want to do that too.
Oh, The Rock could do it, man. I could see The Rock doing it. I could see. Who would be great as the champion is actually Mr. T. I'm the champion, and I pity the fool who doesn't respect the champion.
No offense. I love Mr. T, but how old is he at this point?
He's 173.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Doesn't look a day over 170.
Hey-o.
Not at all. No. He's still got a body to him. He's still got a shape, and they do everything with those things. And he's supposed to be an elder of the universe. He doesn't actually have to lift a steel girder. He just has to. He has to lift a styrofoam girder and throw it at people, and then the rest is all CGI anyway. So
true.
It's about voice acting, Philip. Voice acting.
I know.
Although, actually, the guy who's playing Randy Macho Man Savage in Young Rock could also do the role very well.
Okay.
I'm not watching it, so
I've never seen it either.
Yeah, we got it off topic. But yeah, Ben Grimm, that's my favorite. He has been my favorite character since literally 8th grade. Yeah.
Nice.
In fact, I remember I had do a whole thing about your favorite person, and my favorite person was Benjamin Grimm.
Aww.
I wrote a little thing about it.
Oh my!
Because I was a gigantic nerd.
Word.
And it's impressive because he beat out Reed Richards, and I was also a very big science geek. But Reed Richards was too good looking,
Unrelatable.
Because that's the thing. It's even when Ben Grimm looks like Ben Grimm, he still looks like a big... he looked like me. He was a big, square-headed guy. You could see he probably had a paunch. He was big, and he had muscles, because I always had muscles. I was always a strong kid. But, you could see he probably also was a fat kid when he was a little kid, too.
Oh, jeez. All right, enough of this sappy human emotion. Lil Hellfire, who's your favorite?
I think it's kind of obvious, and if you want a little more insight, you should definitely subscribe to our Patreon that we did on Boob Windows and Long Boxes.
Episode.
None other than Dr. Susan Storm-Richards.
Nice.
One of the top 3 first ladies of Marvel that gets no love, and she deserves so much more than what she's been given. So,
and I loved when she actually had a boob window.
That's what we talked about. Yes,
exactly. Yeah. That's the boob window and Boob Windows and Long Boxes.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
She basically. she is the first woman of Marvel. There was pretty much no one, but there were female characters.
There's her and there's Jean Grey, and then debatable who the third person is. But if you know. Buzz,
And to be fair, they've also built her character out over the years, you know.
It took them 40 years to even think about doing something with her interesting, so...
Well, I mean...
To women, anyway. She was very unrelatable to other women.
I mean, it took 20-some years for her to go from girl to woman.
Yeah.
Even after she
I
had a
think
kid.
when you get...
And that had to come through pain, you know, Psycho Man. Don't even get me started on the Psycho Man thing.
Well, you know...
And you know what I love so much about Sue is that she is with Reed Richards and they're this, like, you know, superhero power couple, but unlike, like, say, Lois and Clark or Barry and Ira, she is, like, a superhero in her own right. And that's such an interesting dynamic. And she's just as smart as Reed. She just lets him have the spotlight.
Well, you know, that's the great thing about Reed is that I think most of the people in the Fantastic Four are, you know, maybe not as smart as Reed, at least as far as, like, all of the things he knows. Like, he, like, has that larger database. Like, everyone's pretty smart. Like, I think, like, Ben Grimm is, like, they play him as dumb, but the fact of the matter is, I am certain that Ben Grimm has, like, a master's in engineering, you know? Because he's a pilot, and he actually flies ships. And it's like, you don't get to be an astronaut by being a big dummy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I got...
Although if you come from the Air Force, you're pretty lazy, as military people go. Hashtag fight me.
Ooh.
Hashtag army brat. I will go there.
Lazy isn't the same as dumb, though. That's the thing.
No, it is not.
They didn't make him a Marine, is what I'm saying.
Oh, that's at Charlie Esser. 2 E's in the middle. They know. Marines know. They're called jarheads. They know.
Yeah,
they
no.
I
say that lovingly. I have nothing but respect for our fighting men in blue.
But I mean, okay, this kind of swings into mine because I was going to pick Reed. So, because it's like, you know, back in the day, it's like...
Really, Phil? I don't believe you.
Well, no, they kind of downplayed it like the last 10, 20 years, but it's like, you know, you had your other smart guys like Tony Stark and stuff who had like their specialties like tech or whatever, you know, Hank Pym, Hank McCoy, but it's like, I think back in the day, Reed was they kind of played him as like the smartest guy in the world because he was kind of like the master of all, you know, he could dabble in tech, he could dabble in this, he could dabble, you know.
Yeah, but you know what, and again, what makes Reed great is unlike every other scientist in the Marvel Universe, he's not constantly talking about how smart he is. You know, he's never like, I don't know, I mean, like the closest they've ever got is when people started to say Valeria was smarter than him. You know, I don't even think he got mad when they declared that Luna Llewellyn is smarter than him.
Oh yeah,
you know,
girl, yeah.
You know, he's always been like, you know, great, cool. You know, why would that upset me that there's another smart person in the world? You know, I'm actually very smart and I like smart people because, you know, my masculinity isn't tied up in being super smart. My masculinity is tied up in being a good husband and father and friend.
Oh, please, after the insults he's taken from Doom, you think anything phases him anymore?
Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing is that, for what it's worth, people call him an idiot all the time. It's like always someone who is, you know, less so.
I mean...
Because he doesn't have the hubris. That's the thing. It's like the secret to not being a supervillain is not being hubristic.
I mean, they've said it even before in story and stuff. I mean, it's like basically like his power is his brain, because otherwise it's like, you know, he has like a goofy, he has one of the goofiest powers, you know, the stretching, but
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean and that is the truth of it. Then that's one of the many things I didn't like about Ultimates, where they tried to imply that, oh, you see, his brain got all smarter because he got the cosmic rays. It's like, no, he was that much of a genius from the start, that he just was that smart. And now maybe he got a little bit of boost by cosmic rays, maybe, but it's like around the edges.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you talk about like, oh, Steve Rogers, he's so much smarter. Like, he's the smartest man in the room, but he was already pretty smart. But I also think that that's kind of the thing. It's like, maybe you might want to argue it, but at the same time, we've seen non-powered Reed Richardses be super, super smart too. You know, in fact, one of my favorites is literally one of my favorite what ifs is, what if the Fantastic Four never got their powers? Mm-hmm. And it is literally just the idea that, you know, Reed says, "Nah, you know what? Ben's right. Maybe we shouldn't go up right now. We'll wait. We'll work on the design.
Yeah.
Make sure we got the proper shielding." And then they're like, "Oh, now we went to Mars." And then, the next season, like within a year, then, humanity's now a spacefaring race. And it's like, yes, because Reed Richards, he's just that smart.
So no love for Johnny? Okay.
I was going to say, and John
there's only
gets
three
left
of
out.
us.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, I like Johnny too. Don't get me wrong. We get to this when we get to the replacements. I like all the replacements too. I even like Ms. Thing. But she's not the one I picked for my favorite replacement character. Because I actually wrote mine down as soon as Phil posted
I was going to say, you surprised me with that, yeah.
Oh, well, that's the thing.
I'm not saying it's a bad choice. I just thought there was at least one or two I thought you picked before that one.
And I'll get to why he is, and it has to do more with as a character.
Yeah.
More than necessarily what he did in those runs.
Yeah, because he really wasn't in there much. I mean, it was a short. It was only an issue or two, wasn't it?
Yeah. But he's there, and that was But technically, you asked the villain first.
I know that's what I was going to say. Okay, well now we'll do the villain round, and again, I knew this was coming. Charlie Esser, who's your favorite Fantastic Four villain?
The Wingless Wizard, it's his legal name, although he still uses Bentley sometimes, just for fun. Bentley Whitnam, the Wingless Wizard, who is... If Reed's superpower is genius and humility, Bentley's superpower is genius and a complete lack of humility. And a neediness that borders on the pathological that I think he owns in a way that Doom never could. That's the thing. It's like, the Wizard, he's not a supervillain for any other reason than the petty lulls of it. And he knows it's for the petty lulls. And that is why his actual arch nemesis is not Reed Richards. It is Johnny Storm of the Fantastic Four. Johnny Storm of the Fantastic Four. Because he first shows up.
Strange Tales, yeah.
Strange Tales, something or other, where he's because he was this great, he was this known inventor, and he basically made super science for rich people. So he was the guy building rockets for what's his name? That guy who's going to Mars.
Oh, Elon Musk.
Oh, it's Elon Musk. He was the guy who would hey go, Elon, here's a rocket, go to Mars.
So we'll see.
Because I'm the smartest guy. You couldn't do it without me. Because I'm the wizard, and everyone loves me. Yay, me! And I would love to see him reinterpreted now, because he would be a reality show star.
I was going to say, I want to see the Wizard on Saturday Night Live now.
Oh yeah, I mean, and honestly, you need Elon Musk to play him too, and it would be chef's kiss. Actually, the best person to play him is Crispin Glover. I don't know if Crispin Glover wants to do a superhero film, but he would be so perfect as the Wingless Wizard. Even though he's an older guy now too, but that can work, especially if they do an older Fantastic Four. But
no baby Fantastic Four allowed. I think we learned our lesson. Nobody wants that. Nobody likes that.
Yeah. I'd like I said, my dream is that when the MCU introduces them, they have been just like the Eternals, operating in the shadows, because they're not superheroes. They're explorers. And they were off-world. Oh, what, Thanos attacked? Oh, I'm sorry, we were, dealing with Skrulls and Kree, just like Captain Marvel. It's yeah, I know, there's a whole other universe. This is just one planet. You guys know that, right? And there's a whole,
we're the cockroaches of the universe, though. Earth is the cockroach of the universe, so
Well, yeah, I understand that, and that's why everyone comes here, because we've got the good sauce.
We're Detroit, man. People just drive past. They lock their doors and drive past.
Yeah, well, or they try to get here because they want to figure out what's in that sweet, sweet human DNA.
Oh.
We got.
So go back to the Wizard. So the Wizard's basically in the same category as all those Stan Lee, Steve Ditko Spider-Man villains from the early years. Basically getting their butts kicked the first couple of years by a 16-year-old.
Well, yeah, but again, the difference is motivation. Because the wizard didn't rob banks. He didn't need to. It's like all of Spider-Man's villains. It's like, yeah, I'm a genius. I invented this amazing thing. I'm going to go use it to rob a bank. And it's like, and the wizard's like, well, I'm already a multi-billionaire, a multi-millionaire. I've already have lots of money. I don't need money. I want celebrity. It's kind of like the Powerpuff Girls villain. What was it? Princess... I forget her name, but yeah.
We need the money. Gimme.
She needed to be... She couldn't stand the Powerpuff Girls were more popular than her, and that's the wizard's origin. Once again, we get back to the Powerpuff Girls. Monkey has been grim. This character... what is her name? Princess...
Oh, Lord, he's stuck in the vortex.
Yeah, anyway, but she would be, but her whole thing was she wanted to be a Powerpuff Girl because everyone loved the Powerpuff Girls, and they were like, no, you can't be in the Powerpuff Girls, you don't have powers. And so she gets an Iron Man suit. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you can help. And then she's like, no, I must be the leader. And it's like, okay, dude, you're kind of harshing the gig. So, yeah. Get the feeling the Powerpuff Girls actually had a lot of FF references in them.
Probably. All right, Lilith Hellfire, who's your villain? Besides yourself.
The only time that she'll catch me being a basic bitch, Dr. Doom. I love just the pettiness of it. I love his backstory. I love every time he shows up in like an arc. I love that he's inhabited the bodies of Daredevil, Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, and Norman MacArthur. Like the storylines, they just literally write themselves with Doom, and he's so petty, and he's like a dictator, like everything I wanted to be when I was a kid.
Oh my god, he pulled that stunt in like in the last issue of Guardians of the Galaxy, and eventually they like trapped him in Rocket's body.
Exactly. He's so versatile too, though, because like how many different comic books have we covered, like with him just showing up in other people's stuff? Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like he's just so versatile. It's not just restricted to Fantastic Four. I love him almost every single time he shows up, no matter what he's doing, because he's just doing it for he does it for petty reasons. It's not the lulz, but his pride is just such his Achilles heel, and he just wears it on his sleeve, and it's just so glorious to watch people pick at it. I love it. I love his reactions.
And you know what's funny? He could have defeated the Fantastic Four in one issue, and he just switched bodies with Willie Lumpkin. But he could never bring himself to do something like that.
Exactly, the pettiness of it. His pride stands in front of his greatness. Thank God. It's kind of like Kanye. It's like, do you know how far Kanye could get if he wasn't so full of pride and conceit? Like, whoa.
It's Mephisto's favorite.
Well, he did trade his mom's life to Mephisto in a deal, so that whole thing too.
Wasn't he originally? He
will trade anybody's soul to get a little.
And Doombots. Need I say less?
Doom reminds me of Montgomery Burns when he said, I have so much money, but I will tell you right now, I would trade it all for just a little bit more.
What kind of
exactly? Like I said, he was everything that I was as a petty child. I fell in love with Doom the very first issue I ever read. I was like, this is the guy. This is my favorite villain in Marvel.
And what kind of megalomaniac makes their whole kingdom up in their image?
So says Master Doom.
Exactly.
All right. So mine was kind of going either towards the one I picked or Doom. I figured you might pick Doom, Lil. So, I'm probably gonna be basic too. Galactus. I mean, come on. I mean, it's probably it's like cliche these days, but back then when he first appeared, it's like the Fantastic Four was like the first team where it's like, yeah, one of our rogues or like one of our villains is like a force of nature, like a universal, like it's like we're fighting gravity or something.
No, that's what's amazing about Galactus is like he is, it's like
he's older than the universe. He's older than this universe.
Yeah, Galactus. This is what it is. It's Galactus. The Fantastic Four fight Galactus. Galactus doesn't fight the Fantastic Four. It's like Galactus is like,
he just has to go about his business.
Yeah, I remember you. You had that ultimate nullifier thing. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was a rough day for me. I was like, whoa, man, who the heck gave you one of those? Do you know how stupid that was? Do you know what you just gave this monkey? My gosh! Oh, honestly, like, to me, it's like Galactus was just like, bye, Felicia. I can't with you, Uatu. I can't. I'm going to go eat Mars. I'm sorry.
But I mean, yeah, there's so many writers now who do like these big universal threats. But I think Galactus was like if not the first, one of the first like big universal threats that he can destroy the planet, he can destroy this again. Back in the '60s, how many times did we get something like that? Not a lot.
Well, yeah, and to be fair, it's not even like he's not malevolent.
No.
Just doing his thing.
It's just,
he's like a shark. He's just eating.
It's like,
he's chaotic neutral. My favorite.
Exactly. He is just, you know what? It's like, if you eat plants, if you're a vegan, you're eating all those plants. Those plants, they have life cycles. They live, they die, they feel pain.
Plants feel pain.
Plants feel all kinds of pain, man. They do not like being eaten.
I mean, instead of the nullifier, shouldn't they be like, man, you don't want to eat Earth. You know how many calories this thing is, man? And it's like greasy, dirty.
Do you know what humans put in their body?
We're like the Burger King of the
They put Red Bull in their body.
If you actually ever read the Marvel team up of Galactus and Aunt May, you would know. Well, actually, technically, it's the Franklin Richards.
Yes,
that was technically a dream story, but you never know in this universe. The great master baker who makes delicious sponge cake worlds for Galactus to consume. He's all about the calories, It's like, because he's a primal being. It's like, if you showed a Twinkie to a caveman, they were like, you must be a god. How can you have this much sugar in food? I have never lived
they'd be like,
until this moment.
They'd be like, what's that yellow rat?
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, Galactus is so important. I mean, they had him down on the ropes. He was about to die at one point. Reed Richards had to save him. He's like, no, the universe needs Galactus. He's like a cosmic balance.
Well, exactly.
Then he got put on track.
Because, you can't do it with the snappy snap, but you need some forces in the universe to balance out other things.
You need that shark.
Galactus wouldn't exist if a Galactus didn't need to exist.
And hey, man, spinning out of Galactus, we got Silver Surfer. I mean, we got a couple heralds, but yeah, Silver Surfer, of course, in the pot.
Oh, yeah. All the best heralds. Nova.
Fire Lord. Fire Lord, although he's cracked up to be Spider-Man, so came on.
Terrax the Tamer. Although, man, that guy is like, and that's the other weird thing about him, is he will create heralds, and then the heralds just wander off at some point.
They get distracted.
So they come back and they go, "Oh, Mighty Galactus, we have returned." So, oh yeah, I remember you. Yeah. Oh, what? You found a world? Oh, cool, man. Let's go eat one.
So I don't know if he's a huge fan of disco, but he tried to make Dazzler his herald at one point.
Wouldn't you? Have you seen Dazzler?
Hell.
Dazzler is the crux of the Marvel Universe.
Oh boy.
Because it was the one soul that Mephisto can't get. Because it's the soul that touched the Beyonder and briefly been a herald of Galactus. And it's like, it is the sweetest plum, and Mephisto can't get his hands on it.
Oh, he wants his hands on that plum.
More like a peach!
Oh,
Any hoosies.
All right, so should we go to the next category? All right, here we go. I want to hear.
Yeah.
So, favorite fill-in team member or team itself? So, Charlie Esser.
Oh, well, you mean the replacement team member?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my favorite replacement, and there's a lot, because you have Scott Lang, you have Miss Thing, you have She-Hulk, you have Crystal, Medusa, the whole lot. But I settled on Luke Cage. And I settled on Luke Cage expressly because, first off, it was kind of a big deal in the sense that it's like, hey, here's our premier superhero team, and here's a black guy. We're woke in the 60s. But beyond that, this is the first time not the first time, but it is like one of the earlier times when Ben loses his powers, which goes into the whole psychological mess of Ben Grimm.
Psychosomatic. Say it with me. Psychosomatic.
Well, yeah, wasn't it a thing where he like lost his memory or something and teamed up with the Hulk? So yeah, he felt all guilty. Shut it down.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's always his psychology. His psychology screws him up, and but they hired Luke Cage, and I like the fact that they literally hired Luke Cage. He is a hero for hire.
Oh, yeah.
They were paying him, which means if Spider-Man had just hung out for 5 minutes.
Instead of saying, gimme, gimme.
Yeah, he could have, because even in that one moment where he like just runs off, now he's a teenager, that's the thing. But the idea is like, you know, if you just sit and talk for 5 minutes, you know, that was the thing. I would have thought that at that moment, Peter was like, wait, you guys are paying now? I thought you guys didn't pay. If you guys are paying, because that was the thing. It's like, I'm sure had he like just talked it through, Peter could have been a member of the Fantastic Four a long time ago.
Oh, there's a what if, you know, if from day one, if he would be like, I'm Spider-Man, hero for hire.
Well, you know, but to be fair, that is a what if. I think it was what if number 1. What if Spider-Man had joined the Fantastic Four? And it is literally just the idea that after Ben Grimm says, hey, we General Motors, and he's like, what? Ben, calm down. Okay, this kid's got talent. Let's talk to him for a minute. What's going on here, kid? I actually am thinking that we should have a little bit of cash to spend on our own. We have enough money. We could work it out. We might be able to work out a salary for you, kid. And, you know, that's when he becomes the member of the Fantastic Five. And it's like, cool. But, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's Luke Cage, man. And then Luke Cage just goes on to be a pivotal character throughout the rest of the Marvel Universe because he is an indestructible dude.
Well, yeah.
Indestructibility is a great power.
He goes on to team up with a lot of people. Iron Fist, and then Bendis put him on an Avengers team, and then he ended up leading an Avengers team, so...
Yeah, but it all starts with him being in the Fantastic... Of course you can eat your own rice. Okay. Just take the middle off before you put it in the microwave. That doesn't actually break the microwave, but it causes sparks, and it's a paper container, so... But anyway, yeah, no, I love Luke Cage as a character. I love Luke Cage as a character, and that he was in... And just the idea that, you know, he works for the Fantastic Four, and then he goes and works for Doom. It's beautiful. It's such a perfect arc for this character.
And again, petty Doom, he don't want to pay.
Well, that's the problem, man.
And, you know, that's how rich people stay rich.
I know, man. He's not paying. Doom don't want to pay his bills. What's he going to do next?
Well, he's a dictator, you know? Dictators don't pay for things. Come on.
What's he going to do next? Run for president?
He did do that in the 2099 universe.
Oh, yes.
President Doom.
Suck it, Luther.
Whoa! They were both president, just different universes. All right. Lil's Hellfire, favorite FF replacement member.
I'm so glad that you brought up Luke Cage because it kind of complements my choice of Storm and Black Panther when they took Sue and Reed's place.
Yeah.
Amazing arc. I love it because Civil War really dirtied up people's hands. That was like some Flash level, like let's lock them in the basement with no toilet. Like he sent everybody to the negative zone, so they definitely needed some time away to fix up that PR nightmare. That storyline was just chef's kiss. And then they brought in Storm and Black Panther right after they were married. It was great. It was great.
I thought those were perfect replacements because T'Challa, you know, he's a genius like Reed Richards, so that's a good replacement. And Storm's a powerhouse.
Literally Storm. Hello.
Yeah, she's a powerhouse like Sue, so it's like, made sense.
And the first mutant member of the Fantastic Four, if you don't count Franklin, you know, which is like, hey, mutants are cool. Okay, FF says so.
No, she was not the first mutant member of the X-Men.
No, the Fantastic Four, Phil.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four. Sorry, yeah, no, she wasn't.
Who was a mutant member of the Fantastic Four before Storm?
All right, I'm gonna cheat. Okay, in the 90s, I had a whole replacement team for 3 issues when we got Spider-Man, Joe Fixit, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right.
Bub.
That's right. Although that wasn't officially
Most competent mutant on a Fantastic Four team.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, I'll give you most competent Storm. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Oh no, I love that scene when they like all come together and like Ghost Rider just like rides up the
Does
side.
Does that predate the Storm run?
Yeah.
Yeah, way. Yeah.
Really? Oh man, that must have been one. Because I know I wasn't reading Fantastic Four at that period.
It was 347 through 349. It was right before 350 when Ben Grimm gets his powers back, buddy.
Okay.
When Sharon Ventura was on the team, yes.
Okay.
She was a close. Look, listen, she was in the list too. But I think honestly, like Crystal was good too. But so many good choices.
I mean, She-Hulk is just one of the best, just out the gate too. It's like, so many great characters, and again, another powerhouse female who has her degree.
An overly competent lawyer, to be honest. Like everybody should just hire her. All the superheroes, when you have legal troubles.
You know, when you think about it, if you
so much better than Matt Murdock.
No complaints here, and that's coming from the people on the Daredevil podcast, The Devil, you know.
I mean, we might have to add it up, but like when you get factor in all the replacement members, I mean, it seems like it might be or do we have more female replacement members than male replacements?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they started that kind of when she got pregnant with
Crystal, Medusa, yeah. Oh, no.
And so then that started that love triangle with Namor, that whole thing. So so Medusa, it's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
But no,
babies break up relationship. I'm kidding. Kidding. If you love your crotch goblins, you love them. It's fine.
But no, like those were Sharon and She-Hulk were both strong contenders for me.
But you know what it is? It's that formula. It pretty much that formula that the dynamic of the team has. It can work with like almost anybody, and I think that's just kind of what it proves because nobody was like, "Ew, what is this?" Everybody was very intrigued with all the replacements for the most part.
I mean, well, Sharon Ventura was interesting because she got Ben Grimm's powers basically. So I mean, they still had a thing, and Ben could go off and do whatever he wanted.
Oh, I did want to bring up somebody that probably nobody else was going to bring up. Frankie Ray.
Oh, Nova, yes.
Yeah, Frankie Ray is a very close runner-up as well. I love that dynamic with her and Johnny. And then, that whole thing of her dad being the guy that created the original Human Torch android. I thought it was just like next level, and we didn't get to dive in deep enough into it, but I thought it was very interesting.
Was she actually on the team, or was she just adjacent to the team?
She actually joined the team for a moment, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think she... I don't think she replaced anybody, but I think she was...
Well, she didn't replace anybody, but she did join the team.
Yeah, she was, like, working with them for a while, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's one of the things that they've actually done a lot lately, where they're like, we call ourselves the Fantastic Four, but really, we've always been 4 plus whoever's hanging around, We've got as many people on our team as the Avengers at this point, and we do call them in on a regular basis.
Or at one point, just like 3. It was like Ben Grimm, Sharon Ventura, and Johnny Storm. After Crystal left, it's like, okay.
Yeah. Well,
they had to put out a classified.
Yeah, they should have just called him Luke. I don't know why they didn't.
I know. I mean, again, like I like the Sharon Ventura stuff, but it's like I don't think they really fully explored her and stuff because I know like when Reed and Sue came back, they were like talking like Reed was like, "Oh yeah, Sharon, you're pretty bright, pretty smart," and then like they never like got into that,
Was it new creators? Was it a new creator team?
I don't know. It might have been. I don't know.
Because that's generally what tends to happen. Is new. I don't want to deal with this crap. Goodbye. See you later, Bunky.
They had her like betray the Fantastic Four and go to Doom and do the whole thing and the mutations and all this kind of stuff. And again, because to get to the rough stuff that happens to females in comics.
Oh yeah,
she has a rape story.
Yeah.
Then she becomes the Thing, and then at first she like wants to kill herself because now she's a Thing. And then she's like, "No, this is great because now no one will want to touch me." And it's like
it's the Medusa of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing is healthy in this, and that's the real thing with Sharon is that none of her story was healthy until she got off the Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and then she started hanging out with Wyatt Wingfoot. And like now, I think she can even turn back and forth. Although they even did give her like that, she wound up being Limited Class Wrestling Federation. Then she was starting to sell mutant growth hormone on the side because it turns out, even if you are a she thing. There's not that much money in wrestling. And I guess because, being the big lady wrestler is not the most...
Yeah, Victoria's Secret ain't going to call you for the runway, yeah.
Exactly. It's like,
Not Rihanna might.
Nose ain't working there, Unfortunately, it's sad because,
Yeah, she was a good character. I hate that they just, dirtied up the character.
But, and again, it's about her getting to that point where she can accept herself and then change back and forth. And then the thing becomes her power-up, and, but... Because, of course, she does have powers when she's not the thing.
Oh, yeah, because she got...
she got the Power Broker serum.
Just like U.S. Agent, yeah.
Yeah, it's like U.S. Agent and D-Man.
Yep.
Well, they go back and forth about, does D-Man still have powers? Yes, D-Man still has powers.
And not
maybe some writers might not play it as it says he has to worry about his heart. He's got a very bad heart.
Yes, he has powers. Not the power of odor, kids.
And he loves his dog.
But no, before we get to the next category, my favorite. I was gonna say my favorite. It was a funny scene with that Fantastic Four. They all gather, at the bottom of Four Freedoms Plaza. Ghost Rider just rides up the building. Spider-Man web slings up. Joe just jumps up there, and then Wolverine's like, oh man, Wolverine has to ride the elevator.
Well, yeah,
again, not
because he's Wolverine, and he's not a flyer. He doesn't have super strength. He just is very good at what he does, and what he does isn't pretty, and what he doesn't do is fly.
Exactly. Lilith, did you lose your camera or your mic or something? Because it says you're not.
I think she's got armadillo problems as usual.
What is it? It looks like she's there, but it says I can't her none of her stuff's connected.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
All right, you want to go into the next one?
Sure.
The
favorite story.
Yeah, I have to get this out because this is I love it and I know why Lilith hates it.
What?
But my favorite arc,
okay.
My favorite storyline is the Psycho Man arc. When Sue Storm goes from Invisible Girl to Invisible Woman.
Oh.
And yes, it is the 80s and drama is a part of it. But, I actually think there's an interesting aspect in this. And if I was to get into Byrne's head on this...
Oh, boy.
There is that quality...
Good luck!
Bunch of naked She-Hulk.
So, if you remember, in the Legion of... The future kids who are superheroes...
Legion of Superheroes?
The Legion of Superheroes, yeah. Saturn Girl and Matter Eater Lad and all those guys, And the idea that they want to have that juvenile honorific because they want to honor the purity of being a hero. But the idea that Sue Storm, maybe along the same lines, says, I'm in the Invisible Girl, that's what she called herself the first time, or what other people called her, and it was sort of went along to get along. And again, that it encompassed that innocence of being a superhero. And then after everything that happened with Psycho Man, after everything that happened with the hate monger and all of these things. And of course, one of the reasons this is particularly powerful to me is because this was actually one of the first Fantastic Four books and one of the first Fantastic Four arcs I ever read. Mm. And because someone was actually talking about your favorite lines in Marvel Comics, and I was like, and one of the things was, or favorite scenes, and the idea that when Daredevil comes across the Fantastic Four and he says, "Why are you fighting an amorphous blob?"
Yes.
It's like, yeah, because you're just fighting some weird shifting shape there. It's like, no, and that was where I learned the word amorphous, and that's where, and it's just one of these moments that is stuck in my head as a young man, and how Sue Storm kind of works through her trauma, works through all the trauma, all the slights of her life, all of the difficulties that she's had to deal with. In many ways, it's kind of like And again, reminds you of that psychological stuff that Byrne would do with the Hulk, and dealing with all of his trauma and issues. And, obviously Byrne likes the idea that trauma is cathartic, that burning through trauma can be like a crucible and harden you. And then when she comes out and she says, I'm the Invisible Woman now. I'm not going to pretend to be a girl anymore. I need to acknowledge who I am and what I am and all the things I've seen. And so to me, that is a great arc. And it's where we really start to push Sue Storm to the front, where, she becomes Dr. Sue Storm, where she becomes the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four. Where we reveal that, actually, her powers actually are manipulating hyperspace, and the idea that she's actually just creating a wall of reality that stops things because just things can't pass through now because science. All of the things, they're really, that's really where they grow and become from there.
There's stuff I like about that story too, like you mentioned the Daredevil thing and that, but and I'm sure Will is going to let you have it, but it's just like, I don't know, I just found it cringy when, like, to break her out of it, Reed's like yelling at her, just like slapping her around and stuff. That just, I don't know.
Classic 80s bullcrap.
Didn't sit well with me, yeah.
Well, because he had to get her to break through the stuff she was working through. He knew she was mind controlled, and the only way to take her out of it was to have her come to understand what he was. Have her.
Any excuse is better than none to backhand a woman in the Marvel universe.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, ask Hank.
At least Alfred smacks boys. That's all I'm saying.
Me and Bruce.
Yeah. Oh,
well, except for he didn't spank Catwoman, but I feel like that was consensual and that was their business. I think my favorite arc, probably just because of how low it had come, and it was after Heroes Were Born, would probably be Inside Out. That Mark Waid and Mike Wieringo run right after Heroes Reborn kind of reset the status quo, made it fun again.
Nice.
I like Mark Waid's.
Oh yeah, Mark Waid did some good stuff on there. Yeah.
He kind of made the whole team equal as well. I felt like everybody got equal time, and that's something that most writers can't actually manage to balance in Fantastic Four. So,
yeah, because you have your favorite character, like
you do, but they're also interesting, especially the way that they interact with each other. That I just wish more writers would explore. Like, it doesn't just have to be Sue yelling at Johnny, or Reed and Ben, or Reed and Sue. Like, mix it up.
All right.
Well, and that's what Mark did, so that's why I really appreciate it.
Definitely. All right. Mine, okay, I know it's a pure retcon, but it always sticks out in my mind. I thought they planned it out well. They could tell you the exact moment the switch took place, but the moment when they revealed, oh no, Johnny Storm didn't marry Alicia. He married his
I know.
What? What you said?
I knew it.
Yeah, sorry. 90s kid. But no, I mean, they said they picked the right exact moment for it to take place. It's when Sue was waiting for the rest of them to get home from Secret Wars, so there weren't that many people around. They, they gas Alicia, put her in suspended animation, and Elijah takes her place. I mean, there's
just out of curiosity, was that a retcon?
Well, I mean, I think they wanted that. I think they wanted.
Who wrote the reveal? Who made that decision? Because was Byrne still on it at that point?
No. This was
that was long after Byrne.
It might have been might have been the Falcon. Let me check here.
Okay.
But no, it was like It was that early 90s or something? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, Byrne was on it for so long; it's hard to know when.
Yeah, I know
when things stopped.
But no, I just like that they picked the moment, and they're like, and I think if you read back, there really isn't. I mean, there might be a little line or two, but there really isn't much to say. Oh no, that retcon doesn't work.
Yeah, but I remember leading up to it, they started doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There was this one item when Johnny comes to her apartment and says, "Why are the lights on?" It's like, "Oh, it's just something I do. Sometimes I turn the lights on because people have lights on in their apartments."
Oh, yeah.
And, It's just to help you sort of be more in tune with how the world normally works outside of your blind life.
And again,
I knew something was weird right then. That's when I knew.
And again, too, it's like, the puppet master came to Ben and it's like, oh, hey, guess what? It's not Alicia.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Tom DeFalco, writer.
Okay, well, that was... it was a great thing. I don't know how I feel about Elijah the Laser Fist. I don't know how I feel about the egg story. There are aspects of that story that I kind of always felt were like, okay.
We could have had her die at the end of that first appearance, but yeah.
No, I appreciate it. The egg is one of the weird things for me.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's where, and again, the idea that, Skrulls can't just give birth. It's like, that seems like a big flaw in your species.
Well, they're part
I think they even later retconned that. It's like, no, actually, Skrulls can give birth just fine. That was part of the thing with the egg and the magical thing and whatever the egg was supposed to be.
Hey, can I shout out another one really quick? Since I poo-poo on Jonathan Hickman so much.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about, what is that, 3, back from when he started in 2011 and how he made it more tech-focused and very concept-heavy run.
Oh,
that was just taking it back to, kind of, getting it back to, the classic Fantastic Four, I felt, aesthetics-wise, at any rate.
Like when they killed off Johnny Storm and Spider-Man took his place? That era?
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I like that run. I like that run.
Oh, yeah, there's been some good runs, yeah.
Well, I just think because he built off of Wade's concept of family and really got them back to being explorers is what made fans kind of gravitate to it.
Yeah. See, the one just before that, which I think was Hitch. I always get those two guys mixed up. Yeah, I did not like that one.
Was that the red suits?
That was the one with... No, I think it was Millar. It was Millar. That's right, it was Millar I didn't like. I think Hitch was doing the art. I don't know. It's been a while. It's a long time ago. But
I was going to say Hitch is
yeah. But just before Hickman took over, I was not a fan of that story. Although they did do some interesting things, but that's also where we got some stories I really loved, like when Old Man Logan comes back and it's like, no, the Earth is dying, but then we find out that Gaia is actually the source of Logan's powers.
And I'm actually surprised Charlie didn't pick This Man, This Monster, because that's the quintessential Ben Grimm story.
Oh, well, see, that is the story. Like, if you were to say, what is the story? The only problem with This Man, This Monster is now we've revisited it so much,
no, did Fantastic Four Life Story ruin that for you now?
It kind of did. I'm sorry, man.
He did not like
I'm hoping Fantastic Four Life Story gets better by issue 2.
Yeah, he did not like
because this is worse than Fantastic Four Unstable Molecules.
I actually like Unstable Molecules because I was like, who let this person write this fan fiction? This is a trash. It's so bad. It's like a train wreck, and I just love reading because I'm just like, how did this get published? I don't understand.
The thing about Unstable Molecules is it still honored the source material, and it's like it worked within its own conceit. This is trying to tell, and like I said, I don't know. Maybe, because I never read Spider-Man Life Story, maybe in that it's like, no, and that one, yeah, Aunt May was always a hoe. What are you talking about? She was cheating on Uncle Ben first issue. I don't know. Maybe they did stuff like that in there, but it's like here where you don't have, and then it's an inconsistency with it where like Reed Richards is literally on the phone to somebody saying, I know you know this better than anyone, but they won't let me bring you onto it. And then Johnny's the one who brings in Ben Grimm. And it's like, if that was him talking to Doom, it's just the worst book ever written. I'm sorry. If it was like, no, Doom was his best friend, it's like, no, that's us. You wrote a bad story. It is bad and you should feel bad.
Well, it's like I told you, Lilith, do you agree with me? I think it was Spider-Man Life Story. It took him at least until issue 2 or 3 to really get rolling.
Very true.
So
that's really sad, and I know that maybe I wouldn't have picked this up.
I don't know if just the formula of it, because
it's the formula. Like they're mandated to carry it out so much. You can only put so much.
And two,
maybe they tapped the wrong person to write it. Maybe they're not as passionate as the person that did Spider-Man Life Story.
And
that's the problem.
And
it's
two, issue 1 is always set, whatever series it is. Issue 1 is always set in that original decade the book started, so they kind of have to make like changes just for the sake of changes, I guess. But once you get to the 70s, it's like, oh, they've already been the Fantastic Four for 10 years or more.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is that when you do that...
The issue 1's supposed to hook you in, and I don't think it really hooked a lot of people in.
Charlie,
like I said, you can't destroy one of the founding relationships. And then just say, oh no, Ben, nobody likes him. We don't care. I don't know.
I was like, what is 16-year-old...
Oh, sorry.
Have they ever read a book, ever? Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I said. Where did 16-year-old Johnny Storm meet Ben Grimm? It's like...
Yeah, nothing about it makes any sense. No. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, heck, they could have had Sue Storm know Ben Grimm. And maybe it's a little better, because then maybe it's like, oh no, yeah, we knew each other, we weren't the best.
Yeah, that time we almost had sex.
Whoa!
That's Unstable Molecules reference, if you don't know.
Or we went to high school.
At that faculty party with those comic book writers.
Well,
read Unstable Molecules just for the sheer lulz of it. It is awful.
See, and again, I didn't really dislike Unstable Molecules. It was a different take. But it knew
that was a hot, try-hard take.
Oh boy!
Yeah, well, I liked the poet character. I think it was in issue 2, the beat poet who's like hanging out with the Storms.
Oh, this thing!
I kind of liked him. There were parts of it that I thought, oh man, I think he. And again, I think it was that writer's translation of who these characters were. And I don't think, it hurt the overall story. I don't care if Ben Grimm, had a floozy on the side or even paid for sex at some point. I don't care about that. That's not important to me for the character. What's important to me for the character is that he has a relationship with the other people.
That's right. All right.
I'm sorry, you're going to say that,
I agree. Yeah.
People pay for sex. There's nothing wrong with sex work. As long as it's all very positive and professional, it's all cool. Yeah. No judgment.
I mean, I support a few people on OnlyFans. It's that porn to farm table feeling. I like knowing that the money's going directly to them and not a sleazy producer or website. Sure, OnlyFans takes its cut.
Lil Hellfire likes her homegrown porn.
Well, hey, that's
right from
our modern. It's one of the fun facts about garbage hauling is that when the mob took their cut, and when they ran the mob out of garbage carting in New York City, and
they just moved it to Jersey. No, I'm kidding.
No. But New York City wound up spending the exact same amount on garbage as they did when the mob ran it. It's just that the corporations did it legally. They took their cut, but then they just made it all profit.
That's how it goes.
Exactly. It's like sex.
There's great books about the carting industry in New York City, and it's like it is such a fascinating field.
All right.
Getting back to Fantastic Four.
Yes. Enough with prostitution. Yes. Back to the Fantastic Four. Next category: favorite Fantastic Four in other media. Charlie Esser.
I loved, and this was a tight one.
Ew.
Because first of all, I do like the first Fox Fantastic Four film. Mm-hmm. I know that's a controversial, but I do like it.
I like it too. You're not alone.
Hey, that was my pick. Is those Fox movies, those two Fox movies?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the second one was okay. Yeah. I thought it ended well, but I thought the first one got a lot of the concepts very well.
That's the closest they've gotten in live action, I think.
Yeah, I liked the film Roman Fantastic Four, which was the Fantastic Four that ran parallel to Earth's Mightiest Heroes. If you remember the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes by Film Roman that had come out in I want to say that was I don't know when it came out, but it was like the early 2000s.
Yeah, I know. I think I know which one you're talking about. Wasn't it like blue and gray costumes they were wearing or something?
Did you guys lose me here?
No, I hear you. I can hear you.
I'm sorry. Oh, you can hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the Film Roman were the guys that were doing the Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That's where we got the Secret Invasion storyline, and their interpretation of the Fantastic Four. And of course, everything they built into that universe of the Film Roman universe was really good. It was really kind of the Marvel version of the Dini Dini universe, the Bruce, that universe that we had over at DC, and it was really frustrating when.
It's really frustrating when he got kicked off.
Oh no, what happened?
He got kicked again. That's why he was like, "Can you hear me?" Then he's gonna watch. He'll blame us. He'll be like, "Oh, your connection is bad."
I didn't know my armadillos were up in Jersey.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
All right, well, we're waiting for him to come back. What's your favorite?
I'll have to go with that the cartoon that ran from 1994 to 1996 on Cartoon Network.
That's what I was. Was it Cartoon Network? Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah. There's a Fox one, and then there's one that was Cartoon Network. They're different.
Okay, yeah, because I know there was one in the 90s, but it was like in syndications. I thought on some local channel. I thought
that was the cartoon version with the. We're talking about the cartoon version where they actually did do the Black Puppet Master, based off of the Fox films.
No, I know.
You're talking about the animated Fantastic.
She said something.
Yeah, I'm talking about the animated Fantastic Four from 1994 to 1996.
Yeah, no, that was good too. That was very good too.
Yeah, because I think the one I'm thinking of, if it's the same one, they did a couple of the classic stories, like they did the Inhumans, they did Galactus. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It might have got syndicated differently, but
yeah, I know
that was the main place that I watched.
I know the place I found it. It was syndicated. It was on some local channels, on Sunday mornings or something. It was you had to look for it. It was
that's how those Marvel cartoons went. If it wasn't X-Men or Spider-Man, though, there were quite a few that came and went.
Oh yeah, it was what was it, Marvel Action Hour or something? Because there was an Iron Man one out at the same time. So it was half hour Fantastic Four, then half hour of Iron Man.
The one that Hanna-Barbera produced back in the early 70s is not that bad either, but...
Is that the one with Herbie?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because they couldn't get the rights to Human Torch because they had actually sold television rights to the Human Torch as a lone character to another company. That eventually became about a pilot who got electricity powers. There's one of the lost pilots that are out there. They'll actually tell you that this was actually supposed to be a Johnny Storm Human Torch story, but then they just threw out all of that and made this instead.
So odd. I thought I thought you would have said, Charlie, after that Roger Corman movie.
I mean, that's a good one, but it has the heart.
Yeah,
but it doesn't have the skill. Film Roman has the heart and the skill to tell a good story. Because, again, all throughout it, everything that I love about the Fantastic Four is in the Film Roman interpretation. I don't know how much you heard, but yeah, that was when they were doing the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Secret Invasion storyline. And it was its own thing. It was its own... I don't even know if they had an actual Fantastic Four series. I think they might have had one or two. But, they interacted in that universe, but it was such a great interpretation because it was, again, a fully formed superhero universe with the Fantastic Four within a comic book universe that all of this stuff existed in, and it was really enjoyable. At least for me.
Like I said, I thought those Fox movies got it the closest because,
as
we see, no one mentioned.
I love Ian Grufford as Reed Richards, and it's just such a shame he's so old now that they won't hire him as it.
Yeah, they could, again, if they do.
I don't think they're doing that. John Krasinski's already 40, and I think that's kind of pushing it for movie studios specifically. I'm talking about actually putting a movie together. Well, they tend to want actors that are a little younger for insurance reasons.
And someone for 10
years.
You
see the guy who plays Dr. Doom, and now he's on FBI or FBI Most Wanted. He's actually still looks like a really good Dr. Doom.
Ew.
The guy who played Dr. Doom in that, he is still doing
man or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he still looks pretty much exactly the same. So
well, not every actor can, especially male actor. Male actors tend to let themselves go. No offense, because they don't have to because of patriarchal beauty standards. So it is what it is. Well, but he was, to be fair, Julian was on a show called Nip Tuck. So to be fair,
the best part is he wears a mask all the time anyway.
Oh my, nice.
Which is why I still say Curtis Armstrong would be the best Dr. Doom.
Hey, all I know from those movies is Chris Evans could do this all day.
Yes.
That's America's fiery butt.
Whoa.
Chris Evans can get it all day, every day.
See. But again, Chris Evans, I think, actually still could play the Fantastic Four, Human Torch as an older Human Torch.
Yeah, if you do an order, yeah.
That's the thing.
That would be funny. He's like, yeah, I retired from Captain Marvel. I'm going back to Johnny.
And again, Michael Chiklis could play an older Ben Grimm without any trouble.
I mean, he already did that on No Ordinary Family, so...
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
And again, they could just Hulk him, too. Do CGI. All Chiklis would have to do is the voice once he transforms.
I know. And again, along the same line, Jessica Alba could absolutely do Sue Storm again.
Unless, please don't make her dye her hair blonde. Let her be. If you're going to do that again, just let her be.
Wig game. No struggle wigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no struggle wigs, please. I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to...
They don't have to force that issue. She's not Black Canary on Arrow. We could dye her hair blonde.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the last category, because then we have rave feedback, too. All right. Charlie Esser, favorite Fantastic Four comic, creator or creative team?
Whoever is currently writing them.
Oh, Slott. Okay.
Well, no, I mean, that's the thing. It's like here's what I'll tell you. Whoever is writing new Fantastic Four stories, I like them. I mean, generally speaking, even in the times when I've dropped off from Fantastic Four, I go back. I say, oh yeah, I like that thing they did. And I've always liked, any team they create and any creative team that puts them together. I always like them, and it's maybe I'm just too easy when it comes to the Fantastic Four, but so long as they're doing what the Fantastic Four do, which is explore strange new worlds, seek out new life and new civilizations, and every so often clobber some people.
What is this, Star Trek?
Well, it's on in the background. But yeah, that's what I love about the Fantastic Four. And I feel like the Fantastic Four really is a great group that has had great writers work on it. And even the runs that are not my favorite at the time, I usually enjoyed them. The only one I really didn't like was, again, that one just before Hickman's run. Millar's Fantastic Four. I did not like that as much, although there were parts of it that I actually absolutely loved. So, they're all good. They're all decent. They're all, I don't think I've read a Fantastic Four book. When I open it, there's not a lot of Fantastic Four books that I just say, oh, this is just awful.
I thought.
And so many other books, I'll say, Hulk books always fall apart at some point. Some Avengers teams just don't work. Honestly, I did not like when... Bendis. No, not that. I was ironically enough, the Avengers that had Reed and Sue on it.
Oh, well,
with Gilgamesh.
And it's like 3 issues.
The whole, and honestly, it wasn't Reed and Sue, it was Gilgamesh. And I love the Forgotten One. The Forgotten One is like, oh, this is one of my favorite characters. I'll call myself Gilgamesh, and I'm going to put a big cow's head on my head.
And why do you need Thor and Gilgamesh on one team?
Overkill.
Yeah.
It was Reed, Sue, Gilgamesh, Thor, and Steve Rogers as the captain.
Yeah. See, now, Circe I liked.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Well, she's cool.
Charlie reads it for the articles, not the art.
No, I like Circe because in Greek mythos, she's kind of a villainous character.
Back to Eternals.
But they give her heroic arcs in comics.
Well, in mythology, all women are villains, because patriarchy, so...
Which is why we have Psycho Man arcs.
I thought you'd be more definitive on a team, Charlie Esser, but...
No. Well, first off, it's not even like I'm that married to most teams.
I know.
It's like Hickman is like the one guy who I really said, "Oh, that was great." Like Byrne and Hickman are probably like if I was going to say, "Oh, these were the best." Then I got to also look at Stan.
I was going to say, I thought.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm a basic bitch again because Stan and Jack, like, come on, classic original duo. You can't beat it. It was fun. It was upbeat, but still had serious moments. Mm-hmm. Just classic Fantastic Four.
I thought that was going to be Charlie's answer, honestly.
Well, no, because I've read those stories.
So just because you read them,
so you can't like something and then not like the new something.
I like the new stuff too, but I like the classic stuff more.
You can't like that.
Well, yeah, see, I don't see. That's not how I read. I don't read things and then like I'm never a guy who says it used to be cooler. Although sometimes I am that guy. But
I'm just talking like personal preference. Like, you know, what's the one time what's the bull?
When I think Fantastic Four, every single cover that I like, every single story that I like, it's Stan and Jack.
Oh,
like that really stand out in my heart. It's just them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I can't say that. I can't say that every book I like is one creator. I mean, there's a lot of John Byrne in there.
I was going to say.
I mean, there's certainly a lot of.
Yeah, there's a lot of great people that touch them in the stories. But when you like, if I were to write them down and list them, and I go, well, I like this, that's who comes out on top.
You see, I don't read stories that way. I read stories as a constant, and so who writes what and how the story progresses. It's not any one moment in the timeline. It's the timeline itself. It's like saying, oh, I really liked it when I was 21. 22 sucked, you know? And maybe 22 sucked, but I probably learned a lot of stuff when I was 22. And 21 probably, it had some easy parts, but maybe I didn't learn as much when I was 21. And maybe 40 years later, I'm going to realize, you know what? 22 was a hard year, but I actually learned way more at 22 than I ever learned at 21. You know, and that's the thing. It's like it's a continuum. It is an ongoing story, and so long as it continues to be an ongoing story, which is why I don't like the Ultimate Fantastic Four. It's like if you said, like, what Fantastic Four story do you not like? Well, right now we know it would be Fantastic Four Life Story. But before that, it probably would have been Ultimate Fantastic Four because they made Rita villain. I'm going to do what I want to do. You know.
Well, you know, he is a little bit narcissistic. Just a little bit. If you just take it a little bit, it can make sense. But the way they did it didn't make sense. But it could make sense for Reed.
Oh, no. He is one step away from being doomed. That's always been the point.
Oh, yeah.
The point of Reed Richards is he has the grounding of the other people in this life that keep him from being doomed. He's like Superman. You go kill, you know, if someone
kill Lois and it's a game over.
Exactly. It's like, well,
he's hanging on by a thread, yeah.
You know, and yeah, I can totally see Reed going, I'm going to take over the world, I guess. I gotta.
And I'm going to charge you for the pimple cream.
Oh.
Technically, he sold it to Oxy, and so they charged us for the
because it was.
That's why it is. That's why everyone has such clear skin in comic books.
All right, and it was before my time, and I've read all the back issues. I think my favorite creator is Byrne. I mean, he did it all. He wrote, he drew. I always like his art. I thought he came up with some.
I bet you like that art.
Hey. I just thought he came up with some cool concepts too, you know.
Yeah, well, he really
he loves to put his mark on a character, and it's not intrusive and invasive like some people. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole
like She-Hulk. That's definitive for me. John Byrne is definitive when it comes to She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, and like you were saying, that whole Frankie Ray thing, Nova, that was during Byrne's run. The whole Trial of Galactus, all that stuff.
Byrne's She-Hulk, I'm always a little... Because I love Byrne's She-Hulk comic. I love Byrne's She-Hulk in Fantastic Four. I have a hard time pushing those two together. It's like, it really feels like two completely different takes on the character.
Well, yeah, because he tried to go more...
Well, she's a woman. She has to code switch.
No.
I mean, and I guess that's maybe it.
In her
I'm in the FF book. I gotta mind my...
I mean, she goes from being solo hero to doing what she wants, how she sees fit, to having to work in a group dynamic that's male dominated. It kind of makes sense to me, that could just be me.
I think
that's perfect. That's a great explanation. Headcanon. Thank you, Lilith.
Well, no, I mean, in the Fantastic Four, it's just a straight up superhero book. I think what he did after that in her own solo book, he was trying to go more humorous. I think wasn't she like the original fourth wall breaker or one of them?
Well, really, I don't even know how much Howard the Duck. Everyone always talks about Howard Duck being, the first fourth wall, and I don't even know if he really was. I've read some old Howard the Ducks, and they seem self-aware, but they never seem...
Very meta, but not necessarily fourth wall breaky. Yeah. I agree.
But Byrne She-Hulk in her solo book, wasn't she, talk to the audience and stuff?
Oh, yeah, she's actually more powerful than Deadpool when it comes to talking to the audience. Almost as powerful as Gwenpool.
So that's
quite frankly.
That's the
as far as the fourth wall
I think, because in the FF book it was just a regular Marvel book.
Again, it's that dynamic. She gets to be solo. She gets to do her own thing. She gets to flex a little bit more. She doesn't have to worry about taking away from a man's shine and getting called a bitch. That whole thing. It makes sense to me.
And that's why you're here, Lilith.
Yay!
It's important to have
because she is a very competent character, and I don't think a lot of and he had to give her that humor, that kind of quirky, that what do they call it, manic pixie dream girl kind of quality to her, to kind of smooth around those edges of her being so competent and so good at what she does on every single level. Yeah. That's just the way I kind of see it in retrospect.
Mm-hmm. Although, and again, I don't really think she ever gets all wound up in relationships in Byrne's.
Wasn't it basically just Wyatt Wingfoot or whatever for most of it?
Well, yeah. That's her one true.
Yeah,
that's her.
That's the OTP. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy that you always know that her and Wyatt. There is something there. Man, good old Wyatt. There's a guy in the backup cast who is, which we didn't really talk about, not non-superheroic backup casts, where Wyatt Wingfoot is basically, Native American Captain America, and just a great character who, he would actually have my vote if we had that as a character. Wyatt Wingfoot is even above Willie Lumpkin, who I do love.
She-Hulk stole Johnny's girlfriend or boyfriend.
Yeah, well, that's Johnny's problem. He can't commit.
Not even.
Well, when he does, it turns out to be a Skrull. Boom.
Yeah, Johnny has really bad taste.
He has no power of discernment. I agree.
I think we cracked the code beforehand. I don't know what his thing with commitment was, but now anymore, it's the last person I really committed to turned out to be a Skrull.
Yeah, any excuse is better than none when you're a hot playboy.
Whoa.
But then, and that, again, our current arc right now with him and Sky.
Yeah.
And it's I met a woman from a cloistered race that never is...
She's my soulmate.
Yeah. It's okay, it's Crystal all over again. It's you are just...
It's Sue, can you go get your brother? Can you go get him, please?
Wasn't that the last issue?
Oh.
Charlie, that last issue didn't open up with him calling Crystal. He's I told her about you when I was with you and when I was with your sister. And
and it's he's honest. He's honest about it, at least.
Yeah.
Oh, but, okay, again, other honorable mention stuff. Alicia as the new puppet master. That is, the most big reveal of our modern FF universe.
Unless we see, maybe eventually she's being controlled by someone. I don't know, but she made life.
She actually is a Skrull once again. Yay!
Oh my god!
Honestly, that's what I'm waiting on.
It worked so well the last time. And for what it's worth, the last time she is controlling Lyja, it's gotta get this Skrull out of here.
Again, or unless they use her trauma, be because they never even addressed that. It's right before she got kidnapped, a nihilist came through that negative zone portal and basically tortured her. And then before she even got over that trauma, she, got kidnapped by Skrulls for years. And so it's of course she's going to have issues.
Yeah. And obviously...
But she's a side character, and we don't get to explore that.
Oh, no, we're going to explore that a lot, because I think that's going to be the big reveal of the new arc. That's going to be her and Ben having to deal with it, with their now... And hey, fast forward, now they're married with kids, and now they've got to deal with this fact that,
Mercury and Skull.
She's been lying to him and hiding things. And like, this is great storytelling. That and Franklin and his powers, and they brought in Trauma to be his counselor. And
finally, somebody's getting therapy.
We need to get everyone on the couch.
What he's most afraid of is himself. It's like, oh, it is so perfect.
Again, we need to get everyone on the couch. Again, Johnny's commitment issues. I mean, we never addressed, basically he was getting raped by a Skrull for years. He didn't know who she was.
He didn't know who she was.
He thought it was Alicia.
Under false pretenses.
Yeah.
Bill's kind of right.
Legal.
He didn't consent to sex with a Skrull. He consented to sex with his lady love.
Yes.
It's the Wonder Woman thing.
Let her know.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
No. But again, it comes into this question was Lyja actually his lady love? Because he didn't fall in love with Alicia. He fell in love with Lyja, pretending to be Alicia. And for all intents and purposes, she was Alicia at the time.
Yes, but to keep that thing going, if she had to do something Alicia wouldn't do, she was going to do it. I know I didn't mean that dirty, Will.
Arguably, but we don't know that. That's where it gets into this. That's where it gets to be murky.
Yeah.
Because from his perspective...
Full disclosure or nothing. That are the only two options you have.
Let's
along
boil it
those
down.
same lines, the current Alicia isn't full disclosing to Ben.
Yeah.
And that's why we're sad. We don't condone that either.
I'm just saying the whole Lyja
But you
thing.
know what? That's the point, is that trauma makes us all damaged, and we have to acknowledge each other's trauma, work through each other's trauma, and say, these are the things that you do that hurt me. These are the things you do that make me feel good. We need to get rid of all the bad things, keep the good things, and if you can't get rid of the bad things, bye.
Okay. All right.
That's the balance that we have to find in life. Okay.
All right. Speaking of a man in touch with his emotions, let's get to some Ray feedback, because Lilith, he sent you a little over 7 this time.
Send in the nostrils!
All right, kids. For those of you who may not know, because we usually get a lot of feedback on this show, this our friend from Australia, host of such shows as Last Sons of Krypton, a Superman podcast. To Know Her is to Fear Her, the
Spider-Woman
podcast. You can hear him talking Scarlet Spider the last Tuesday of every month with me and Matt Kona. And, of course...
the Scarlet Daddy-Os now!
Yes, that's right. All dads now. And, of course... he'll go down in history as a hero or a villain for Into the Night, the
Moon Knight podcast.
All right.
The only one there is.
Yeah, that's right.
So far, just wait till that TV show hits.
And now Oscar is confirmed.
Yep.
As if he were Mephisto. He's confirmed.
All right. Let's hear what this man had to say. All right, Ray. Let it rip.
Hello. This is Ray. I am dropping in some thoughts. I'm not addressing who may be on the other side of this, because I'm not sure. There may be more guests there, so I don't know. It's a stretch. Hello, Phil. Hello, Lilith. Hello, Charlie. Maybe hello, Tyler. I don't know. Anyway, whoever's on the other end, I just wanted to drop in my thoughts on the Fantastic Four. It's the 60th year, is it? Oh my gosh. And it's coincidental that, I'm going through a read of the Fantastic Four myself. So I'm actually starting from the very beginning, back in 1961, I guess, with Fantastic Four #1. It's been a rip-roaring, rip-snorting read. So I'm going to just, shoot off some of my favourites, which is some of the topics that you have mentioned or that Phil has given me. #1, favourite FF member. I'm going to have to say, giving a lot of thought, I'm going to say The Thing. I really do like Ben Grimm, and granted, yes, I've heard the discussions between Phil and Lilith on The Thing, and I agree, definitely, Lilith, to the extent that he is a bit of an emo kind of guy. Reading issue 2 of the Fantastic Four, even back then, he's already complaining and causing a ruckus, smashing up stuff, picking fights with Johnny and Reed because of his condition. So, arguably, he's got a point. as well, but I found that. And then, I mean, not that long ago, I was reading the 1986-87 run by Stern and Roy Thomas. And yeah, lo and behold, there's the Thing again, being a bit of an emo and going off to Monster Island and hiding with Mole Man. So you do see a lot of that, but he's got a heart of gold. So I love the Thing. I think he's great. And I don't know, I'm a big Hulk fan, but whenever I see him go up against the Hulk, I chop and change. Sometimes I want the Hulk to win, sometimes I want Ben to win. So I really do like his character. As for favourite villain, I don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it? I'll probably say the big hitters, obviously Doom and Galactus. Puppet Master is quite cool, but a bit creepy. He's good.
There's our triplet.
Even, I guess you could argue as well, the Maker, the Ultimate Universe version of Reed. I think he's pretty deadly. So yeah, I'll stick with him then. Is he called the Maker? I can't remember. He's got another name where he wears that long alien-like helmet. But yeah, he's quite interesting. So
yes, he is
the
Maker.
Doom, which it is for me. Obvious ones aside, I'll say it's him. As for favourite fill-in or favourite team, I'm going to have to go for the new Fantastic Four: Wolverine, Ghost Rider, Hulk, and
90s nerd!
I can't remember.
I didn't listen
Who
to
was
this
it? By Art Adams. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
What was it? Ghost Rider, Hulk, Wolverine, and...
the other person doesn't matter, let's just be honest.
But yeah, they were a cool team.
Wait, do you say Joe?
And I'm just going to go further on to say that, favourite artists and stuff, there are many. I mean, geez. John Buscema, Sal Buscema, Simonson... they're great. I would have to, but Art Adams for me in that 90s run was just fantastic. So I'm going to give it to him. Favorite writer would have to be between. I'd say Roger Stern was pretty good. I liked his run, but Hickman as well is right up there with his more recent run. What other topics were their favorites?
I wrote it down for you.
Favorite moment, actually, yeah. Favorite story or moment. I'm going to say a moment, and I'm only going to say this because I've recently read it. Again, at the end of issue 2, it was an issue where the Skrulls impersonate the Fantastic Four, trying to get them into trouble. And long story short, one of them escapes, kind of with the rest of the Skrulls. Incidentally, because Reed goes on board the ship pretending to be a Skrull. Disguised as Reed, and he convinces the Skrull leader that Earth is so dangerous by giving him pages of Tales to Astonish and Journey into Mystery, so literal comic book panels of monsters. So I thought that was pretty funny. But my favourite moment would have to be towards the end, where the Skrulls concede defeat, the 3 Skrulls which they've captured, and they are punished. Like, they're not sent back into outer space, they're punished for the rest of their lives. Reed hypnotizes them, and they transform, because they can transform into anything, into 3 cows.
FF
and
number 2.
That's their kind of penance or punishment. So the story ends with 3 cows on top of a hill munching grass, and the Fantastic Four leaving them there.
No way!
All at once, and
that does come back in the John Byrne run.
Slightly sinister punishment. I'll leave that up to you, but I thought that was quite entertaining, to say the least.
Cheeky.
Anyway, I can't think of any of the other topics of the favourites that you've mentioned, but that's kind of a summary. For me, I love the Fantastic Four. Again, I think the defining quality is this family, the dynamics as well. And, contrary to what Lilith says as well, I think the fights are fantastic as well. But I can't deny that, the family dynamic is what makes them so interesting. I think Dan Slott does that very well, although I haven't read the later, more recent Fantastic Four run. But even the previous runs, just that dynamic, because you've got a husband, wife, you've got brother, sister, like familial stuff like that. You've got best friend, Ben Grimm and Reed. So there's all these different relationship dynamics so compactly summarized in the group. So I think that's really great. But yeah, I'm very happy with the Fantastic Four's 60th. I'm hoping to do a good read, get more epic collections to fill it all out, and read up about the master plan of Doom and their coming of Galactus, with the first appearance of the Silver Surfer, which was great as well. That was a good one earlier on. But yeah, that's cool. And I'll be listening intently for all of your favourites as well. I really do. Interesting to know what your favourite moment or story is, because there's so many. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. And Fantastic Four.
Catch it.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. By the way, he did mention the Hulk. He did not mention Spider-Man.
Okay. How could you forget Spider-Man, Ray?
Because he's Spider-Man.
It's not like he's
and
Moon Knight.
He's not Moon Knight.
Oh.
Exactly. He's not in a white robe, buddy. Like, what do you want from him?
Now, did I mention that I really liked the Matt Fraction Alred team? Because that was like...
You did?
I did? Okay, I know.
No, you didn't, but I'm surprised that you did.
It was on your list, you said. Yeah.
It was on my list, yeah, because I love what they did, and technically it's their FF run, not the Fantastic Four run. So, but that's my So, if I had a creative team to honor for that would be them, because I love Monaco, Prince of Magic, just calling Doom a petty dabbler. It's right up there with Otto Octavius calling Doom a dropout, and it just...
Sick burns on Doom! Because he's an easy target. Yeah. He's an easy target.
But the FF was probably one of my favorite variations on the Fantastic Four. So that was the Future Foundation book. It wasn't a Fantastic Four book, it was the Future Foundation. And that with, Adolf Impossible, the Moloids, and, a bunch of other great characters, all the kids with Scott Lang and Ms. Thing. And then those two not having a relationship later on was always a weird thing, but, again, Scott Lang, he's a mess to start with. And Ms. Thing, she's a rock star. But, yeah, it was just a great run. And they can't have their movie property getting involved with a Fantastic Four character who wasn't yet owned by Disney. So, but it's something I'm going to be watching for in the future.
That's right.
In the Future Foundation.
All right, I'm cutting it there. I'm taking charge. Damn it!
About time.
Oh! All right. I know I talk too much. Anyway, all right, kids. Send us your thoughts, just like Ray. What are your favorite Fantastic Four? Anything. Because, hey, still the 60th year. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Capes and Lunatics on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Find this YouTube channel. See a little Hellfire's eyes roll in the back of her head. Links to the Patreon, links to merch, links to everything, all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And hear that, please support our sponsors. You can hear that college dropout Doom in crystal clear HD quality, audio quality with tweaked audio. Of course.
Get yourself some headphones. Come on, people.
Coupon code Southgate on checkout.
And if that's not enough, go get yourself some Hunt-A-Killer.
Coupon code Southgate upon checkout.
That's right.
Michelle Gray definitely needs your help. And what's not a cool way to spend time? Wait, no, I didn't say that right. What's a cool way to spend time? Solving a cold case. Because it's all the rage.
Being the star of your own true crime podcast.
That's right. And for those downtimes by yourself, go pick up Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. Audio version coming soon, or so Rob Southgate tells me. Yes.
Available where?
You can get that on Amazon, and when you do, please use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help us support this show, the network, and that man in the iron mask. He's no doctor, but
make it rain.
Because he is.
So says Master Doom. Come on, Phil, say Gotham. No.
And you will find out I am right so much more.
Wrong drop.
Mark my words.
All right, Lilith, where can people find your comic book?
You can find me on Twitter, not tweeting as often as I say I do, at Lilith Hellfire. On Instagram, not posting, at Lilith Hellfire 69. And making snarky comments on TikTok, at Lilith Hellfire 69. Smash it!
All right, Charlie Esser.
Well, you can always write to me in an old-fashioned email, way that our mothers and fathers once did, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it, whenever. Like Legends of Tomorrow sometimes on Sundays, at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEssser. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
All right. Thank you for joining us for this special episode. For another week, we have been your Capes.
Ampersand.
Slightly less lunatics this week. We've been concise and on point. Don't get used to it.
It's still like long then.
As we go for 96 minutes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Hey, Lilith likes it long. That's what I've heard.
Who doesn't?
Oh, hey-oh. Ray will fail them. Crazy.
Because I know Lilith likes it long.
Thank you, Ray, for your feedback. Even though you don't remember the list, you guys wrote it.
We love you, Ray.
Yes, Ray. We love you. All right. Remember, kids, just blame it on that accursed Richards. Good night.
I am Connor from the House of L.
And I am Ray from the House of Zod.
We are two of the many survivors of Krypton's destruction, and we have made our home in Australia, and dare I say, have become Australians, for better or worse. But we have also decided to read Superman comics, read Superman books, watch Superman shows, cartoons, movies, basically everything Superman, and from an Australian perspective as well. Whether you're a seasoned fan, like me,
Or whether you are coming in fresh, wide-eyed and wanting to learn more like me, then this podcast is for you. Join us for our bi-weekly adventures available on all good podcast catchers.
just search for Last Sons of Krypton, a Superman podcast. We'll be coming to you from Australia or some cosmic dimension, wherever we are that week. Up,
and away.